Hey everyone, we're on the corner of Pearl Street and York Street in Dumbo, Brooklyn, and today we're going to be commuting home over the Manhattan Bridge. It's rush hour right now. It's pretty cold. It's about 46 degrees out and roughly 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We're standing directly under the Manhattan Bridge. We have a beautiful view of the Empire State Building. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin our way on top of the Manhattan Bridge pedestrian walking path. Now, I gotta warn you, it's probably gonna be a very, very noisy video today. And this is one of the things I like better about the Brooklyn Bridge. Because with the Brooklyn Bridge, it's a lot quieter, because there's no subway that goes across the Brooklyn Bridge. However, the Manhattan Bridge, you're gonna have trains screaming across the bridge pretty much at all hours of the day. However, one of the things I will say as we make this right on J Street, this will take you down to J Street Metro Tech, by the way. I think that the views are a little bit more unique from the Manhattan Bridge. Okay, now why do I say that? Well, if you're walking across the Manhattan Bridge, you can see the Brooklyn Bridge. And I think the Brooklyn Bridge is a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, in my humble opinion. But if you're visiting New York, let's say with a young family, and you want to get some good views from the bridges, probably would just stick with the Brooklyn Bridge. It is much more touristy, right? The Manhattan Bridge is really a commuter's bridge. I'm not saying it's dangerous, right? It's not, but particularly at night, can be a little sketchy, a little bit dirtier, a little bit grimier. So if you're visiting New York, maybe by yourself, maybe you're in your early 20s, I would suggest to do the Manhattan Bridge as a single person, or maybe if it's just the two of you. And I would suggest doing it at sunset. It is a very, very cool experience, and it's more urban. It definitely feels like you're more in an urban landscape. All right, this is Prospect Street. We have a little bit of construction, but we're going to cross the street here anyway, since we have the light. I'm pretty excited to do this video. I haven't walked across the Manhattan Bridge in a little over a year now because it's just so windy and it's so cold. A little bit nicer today, still in the 40s though. We're gonna make this left on J Street, and this should be Sands Street. The best tip I can give is if you're in Dumbo, Brooklyn, try to find this big building, which is the Brooklyn Tower right here. It kind of looks like that building in the Lord of the Rings. Just walk straight towards that building, and that'll take you right to the pedestrian path at the Manhattan Bridge. All right, this is Sand Street. You can see a lot of the vehicle traffic piling up now because it is rush hour. And right on the corner of J Street and Sand Street, this is the pedestrian walking path. Over back this way is the Brooklyn Bridge. The downtown Brooklyn skyline has really changed so much over the years. You really got to watch yourself at this intersection too, because you have so many different lanes of traffic going north, south, east, west, and you have two converging bike lanes too. So I would just suggest to wait for the light. see some folks walking over the Manhattan Bridge right now. It's going to be interesting just to see how the wind changes as we get up there. Okay, we have the light. So we're going to make a right on Sands Street. And then you'll see a sign pointing to the pedestrian path. You can see it right here. If you're not familiar with the area, it's very easy to miss it because this doesn't really look like the entrance to a bridge, but it is. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and make this right and start our journey walking over the Manhattan Bridge. I'll just give a quick volume warning to all those headphone users out there. The volume is going to be very loud in this video as the subways go screaming by. And we're off. We're now officially on the pedestrian path of the Manhattan Bridge. I'll give you a quick peek at the subway tracks right here. And like I was saying before, if you've ever walked the Brooklyn Bridge, or you've watched any of my walking tours over the Brooklyn Bridge, you can kind of understand what I'm talking about now regarding the Manhattan Bridge as more of an urban sprawl and not very touristy, right? This is a commuter bridge. So, especially if you're walking this at night, I probably wouldn't bring the family and the little kids over. I think the Brooklyn Bridge is more for that. But I like the Manhattan Bridge better if you're young, you know, maybe it's just two of you, no little kids, because it's a different, like, urban, very exhilarating experience. And I think the views are better from the Manhattan Bridge. You'll also get really great views looking down over the streets of Dumbo, Brooklyn, too. I really like how some of the buildings here have those sky bridges. It's kind of like that Gimbel's Sky Bridge near Penn Station. You're also going to see a lot of the new luxury condos as well. And here we have our first subway. Subway number 1 coming over now. You can also feel the bridge rattling. Wow, everybody, look at this. This is rush hour in New York. These are all the vehicles trying to get on the Brooklyn Bridge. And you could even see the pedestrian walking path on the Brooklyn Bridge too. You can see the first main archway coming up in the distance. This is a very interesting view here, everybody. Check that out. That is Olympia Dumbo, as seen from the top of the Manhattan Bridge. Pretty cool. And then this is looking all the way down on Front Street, I believe. Very cool bird's eye view. Even these apartments. So you have all these gates up here for security. This is what I was talking about in regards to more of the urban feel. There's graffiti everywhere, but I actually like it. It's like a very cool experience. It is really, truly a urban New York City vibe up here. Great place for photographs too. Wow. here we have some of those great views. Could you imagine living here? Look at the rooftop, everybody, of this building. Sit out on your rooftop during the summer, have a nice barbecue, and look at that. That is an awesome shot, wow. You could even see Jane's Carousel from up here. I'm really liking this building here. Rooftop, lounge chairs, barbecue grills, and views for days of Lower Manhattan. Check out Jane's Carousel over there. Super unique. And now we're seeing the first real archway of the Manhattan Bridge in front of us. Now there's people who come up here and cut holes in the fence so you can get better photos like this. You can see a gentleman on the rooftop right there. And one more look at Olympia Dumbo. I think now you guys understand what I mean by better views in the Brooklyn Bridge. So I want to quickly show you guys something. There's a really awesome hotel in Dumbo, Brooklyn called the One Hotel. And it has an amazing pool on the roof, and you could really see it quite well from up here. I'll just give us one shot of the arch here. And yes, you can feel the bridge shaking when you're up here. It shakes quite a bit. But here it is. This beautiful, or excuse me, not the one. I'm I'm getting confused, sorry. This red big brick building right here, there's also the one hotel on the other side of the Brooklyn Bridge. But this is the Empire Shops right here. And you have an awesome roof deck. You also have an awesome roof deck at the one hotel. But this really beautiful looking red brick building right here with those arched windows, that is the Empire Shops. There's food halls in there. Everything you could imagine is in there. Great shopping, and it has this unbelievable roof deck. And you have a pool, and you overlook all of Lower Manhattan. It's an amazing, amazing place. See the New York City water taxi going by. Looks like we got a little bit of sun coming out. beautiful views. We're about halfway across the bridge, and now we can see one of my favorite buildings in all of Tribeca. This is the Jenga building, or 56 Leonard. Let me see if I can get through the fence here and show you. It's that building right there. It's a little difficult to see, but that is the Jenga building. It's actually not as loud as I'd expect on top of the bridge today. Now, this is going to take us to Chinatown in Manhattan, which is one of my favorite places in the city. Lots of great food. Actually, may go to one of my favorite tea shops. If you're visiting Chinatown in New York City, I want you to write this down. You've got to check out Miss Du's Tea Shop and get the mango green tea. It's unbelievable. It's not like the artificial teas that a lot of other places serve. It's really good. So check it out. Mango green tea from Miss Du's Tea Shop. I may go there right after I finish this walk, actually. Got the train. This is going to be an awesome shot of 56 Leonard. Check that out. The Jenga building that sits right in Tribeca. You even have a baseball field down there. right, we're about 2/3 of the way over the bridge. Not a lot of traffic. Or at least not as much as I'd expect. Check out the baseball again. What a cool shot this is. Looking right at these people playing baseball here. Such a unique view. It's really amazing. We're almost all the way through the bridge now. Wow, they must be getting some unbelievable footage And through here, you can see the spire of the Brooklyn Tower. Okay, we are officially in Manhattan now. I'll try to give you the first look of the streets of Lower Manhattan. One of the things I love doing is looking at all the rooftops because there's so much cool graffiti here. Look at that. So cool. You can even see right into people's apartments. I can only imagine how loud it is. Like for the people who live literally right here. I don't know how they sleep. Oh, wow, look at that. That is an unbelievable view of the Jenga building. Crazy. And you even have these mini soccer fields on the roof here. Pretty cool, right? This is what it's like to live literally right on top of the Manhattan Bridge. Now, this is Chinatown, and I want to show you a really, really interesting view of New York City's Chinatown right now. Very cool. Here you can see some people on the subway. Here's another good view. This might be my favorite one because you're going to see all the different shops in Chinatown. People buying fruit, vegetables, things at the market. It's like you're up in your own little world, observing and looking down on everybody else. Let me know what you guys think of the Manhattan Bridge. Do you prefer walking over the Brooklyn Bridge? Do you prefer walking over the Manhattan Bridge? What do you think about the views? It's definitely a different experience. It's more urban here, a little bit more raw. now you're going to be able to see the vehicles going on top of the Manhattan Bridge. Looks pretty busy too. Once we make this left, we'll have a better idea of just how slam-packed the traffic is. All right, we made it. It took 48 minutes. I think it would have took a lot faster, but obviously we were doing a narration and taking in the views. So welcome to New York City's Chinatown, everybody. We are officially back in Manhattan. And this is the main on-ramp to the Manhattan Bridge. You can see it is a little bit crowded getting up there tonight. It is peak rush hour after all. We're gonna go on Canal Street, and then I'm gonna loop it back around. I'm going to go to my tea shop. So Canal really cuts the island of Manhattan in half. It'll take you right here to the Manhattan Bridge, and then it'll also take you to the tunnel, which will take you out to New Jersey. This is the main Buddhist temple here in Chinatown, right as you come off the Brooklyn Bridge. It's beautiful inside. We're now on Canal Street and Bowery. And you can see the Jenga building and the World Trade Center. We're going to make a left on Elizabeth Street. Assuming we could get the light. As we're waiting for the light, let's actually go down one more because we missed it. It's all right, we'll go on Mott Street. I gotta go to Mott Street anyway. Look at how beautiful the buildings are down here. Love it. Now to the north of Canal Street is Little Italy, which we'll explore on another video. My favorite Chinese restaurant is just off to the right. It's called 456 New Shanghai Restaurant. It's a great spot. Here it is. This is the best Chinese restaurant in Chinatown, in my opinion. 69 Mott Street. Ah, this is the new Molly tea. Bayard Street. We're going to go one more. We got to go to Pell Street. Okay, this is Pell Street. We're gonna make a left, and then I'm gonna go to Miss Du's Tea Shop, which is the greatest tea shop in New York City. So if you guys enjoyed that walking tour from Dumbo, Brooklyn over the Manhattan Bridge, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and we will see you in the next one. As always, take care.